Hi everyone, welcome to 5 Minutes with Mark, a regular feature in which I show you a tip or trick in 5 minutes or less to dramatically increase your WordPress workflow efficiency. So in the last video, I showed you how to change the password when your password has been hacked, and today I'm going to show you just a couple of really quick commands on how to verify your checksums to make sure that your WordPress installation is actually proper. So in order to do that, here we have our hacked site again, and I'm going to show you, now that we can go into the back end here, into the dashboard, we can see here that I've got a couple updates here, but I'm not going to worry about those right now. What I want to do is I want to show you, if I go even into my customize here, it's going to bring up this weird page, which is not what my site's supposed to look like. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to open up my DSCLI prompt if I'm running in desktop server. You can also do this from a live site if you've got WP CLI installed. The next thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to type in WP core verify checksums. Okay, and what this is going to do is going to do a check, and you can see that we've got some errors here. When a hacker has gone in and messed with your files, you're going to get some checksum errors. And there are plugins that will do this for you. There are security plugins that will do this for you, but I want to show you how to do this at the level of a command line interface because it makes it easier and you don't have to install a plugin or mess with the database or anything like that. So we see clearly that there are some issues. We have the index.php file not existing, which is probably where one of our problems is. So if I go and I pull up my site directory, I can see here actually that I've got an index.html file. And chances are this is what they've done. They've just gone in and they've replaced your index.php with an index.html. So we're going to go ahead, and I downloaded WordPress from the repository, www.wordpress.org. And I'm just going to take from the zip file and I'm going to copy this over here. And so now I've got my index.php file right in the root of my directory. And I should be able to go to my front page now, and it should show up like it's supposed to. So here is my site. So my site looks good. But now the other issue that we had was, if you remember, we had this issue here where our checksums didn't verify on the core of the product. So what we would want to do is we can go through and we can go through all the files. A lot of times when you do this, you might find 100 files that have been changed, or it might be one file. In this particular case, because I went in and did something, I only have a couple files that have changed, but I don't really feel like going through all my WordPress installation and figuring out what's right and what's wrong. So the important things here is if I go and go back to my WordPress file here, my WordPress that I downloaded from the repository, the important directories are the WP-admin and the WP includes. Your WP content is going to be where your themes and plugins are contained. And if there are issues with those, we'll get to those in a minute. But let's address one thing at a time. So I'm just going to copy. These files are your core files, and they should not change. So if they have been changed, you're going to get these checksum errors. So I have copied that, and now I'm going to go into this directory here, and I'm going to go ahead and just overwrite my previous files. Now you can rename your WP admin and your WP includes directory if you want, if you feel like there's something there, but really you should not be playing with your core files anyway. So those should be nice and clean. And we'll give this just a minute to do all the copying, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, the files are all now copied over, so let's run that command again, WP core verify checksums. You can also press the up arrow if you would like, and it will use the last command, or you can use it multiple times to go back through the last commands that you've used, and then hit enter. And now, theoretically, we should have it verifies against checksum. So we've replaced our core files and everything seems to be fine there. So now if I go to my front, everything looks good and we have a working WordPress site. The next thing that we're going to want to do, though, is we're going to want to check our plugins, because what happens if somebody hacked your site and some of your plugins are running the issues? They could do MySQL injections, things like that. And so we want to see if our plugins verify as well. So the next command I'm going to type is wp plugin verify. It would be nice if I learned to type one of these days. Sums, and then dash dash all. And this is going to check all of your plugins. I only have one plugin installed, and I can tell you that I have already modified it. So we are going to get an issue here. And sure enough, our WP Site Sync for Content plugin has failed. We can go in and we can once again look at the WP Site Sync Content PHP file and try to figure out where that is. Or we can just replace the plugin itself. We know that it's the WP Site Sync Content.php file. So if we go to WordPress.org plugins, and then we can do a search for WP Site Sync. Oops. There we go. Let's search in the plugins. Maybe that would be better, huh? Okay, so I'll put in WP Site Sync, and here's our plugin. I'm going to go ahead and download this. And once again, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the file in question, which once again is WP Site Sync Content.php. And I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to go into my WP content directory. I'm going to go into plugins, WP Site Sync Content, and here is my WP Site Sync Content.php. And once again, you can make this, you can back this up, you can name it .old. I'm just going to delete it because clearly there's a problem with it. I don't want it on my system. So there we go, WP Site Sync Content, and I will bet you now if I do my verify checksums my plugins, everything is hunky-dory and we're ready to go. So that's it. This is a little bit more on how to use WP CLI. It's very easy and can be extremely useful, as you can see. And now we know that the integrity of the files is correct, and we know that the integrity of our passwords are correct because we've taken the first couple of steps in fixing our hacked site. Once again, there are plugins that will do this for you, but they do go into your database and they add to your database, and what I've done here does nothing to your database, so that's kind of nice. And anyway, that's it. I hope this is helpful to you. This is some basic troubleshooting on how to deal with a hacked site, and we hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions or comments or any further suggestions, please feel free to let us know. And if you'd like to get updates, don't forget to subscribe to this channel because we're always adding content. Thank you very much and have a fantastic day.